What's up, real ones? Welcome to Let's View It. Thank you for clicking on my video for the first time or again. And in today's video, we got a very interesting topic, a topic that keeps popping up on my TikTok feeds. And that interesting topic is the feminist men hating women. And I don't mean men hating women. I mean women hating men, always saying all men when they're talking about SA and grape and abuse and stuff. And not only are they basically grouping all men with predatory violent behavior, they have the nerve to get mad if a man defends us as a group and says, well, not all men. Now, do I really honestly care if feminist women hating men say all men are bad or all men are rapists? No, I don't. But the psychology of why they do it is interesting to me. But not only that, what they say is entertaining and funny, and half the time they're really angry. And I don't know what it is, but when people make their own self angry over nothing, I find it funny. So now let's start the funny and watch angry feminist women hating men get mad at men for saying, not all men, but also towards the end of this video, I got a bonus for the men. I want to change our response to the all men thing. Instead of saying not all men, I got a better response for us. I promise you'll like it. So you already know. Let's view it.
When men say it's not all men, I don't understand why you blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, just for a minute, imagine you're in prison. Okay, imagine you're in prison and all.
Here we go. Her very first analogy. Imagine that you're in prison. So in order for her to prove a point, she had to make an analogy where she puts men in a violent prison. She's comparing her walking around in her everyday life, going shopping and being around those men as us being in a prison. But it doesn't register with her at all that she has to make an extreme analogy right out the gate to prove a point. If you gotta do that, then you probably don't have a point. F it. Let's let her finish.
All of the men are bigger than you, stronger than you. At least they could overpower you physically, is the gist, right? Now, in this situation, are you going to just assume they have your best interests at heart? Right?
What? Why in the world would you be in a prison and think the criminals have your best interests at heart? What is she talking about? What is she talking about? There are women prisons. Even if I worked there, or if a woman was in a women's prison, she shouldn't think the inmates have her best interests at heart. Why? Because they're criminals. That's why. Now, are all criminals the same level of criminals? No. And of course, you're not going to sit there and try to decide which one is an honest criminal and which one's a lying, deceiving criminal. This is the stupidest analogy and point she is trying to make. But she sits there with her dumb high eyebrows on her forehead, acting like she's making a good point. She can Jim Carrey her way all the way through this video, and she's still going to be dumb and dumber.
If they start looking at you too long, someone starts looking you up and down, paying you compliments, catcalling, are you going to feel a little nervous? A little uncomfortable? Or do you think that they're just so nice. That's just a nice guy. It's so nice. And if someone starts following you back to your cell, are you going to freak out a little bit? Maybe feel a little terrified, right? Or are you just going to move through the world, like not even paying attention, just whatever, everything's going to be fine? Or are you going to be very focused on making sure you don't get assaulted and bent over, right? Like doing everything you can to repel, right? And if someone propositions you, are you going to decline, like, no, I'm not interested, so that they don't understand, so they don't misconstrue, right? In case they don't, think that you were flirting or something. Or are you going to try to de-escalate and be like, no, thank you, dude. You're so funny. You're funny. Jokes, but I'm not interested. No, thank you. Like, how are you going to handle that? How are you going to handle that situation? Okay. And so just imagine that, like, really picture yourself there in that situation, in that feeling, the feeling really of being prey. And now can you understand why women act as if it is all men? Just to be safe. Right? Because that feeling, that's how women feel. Except out in the wild, right? In the parking lot. Out for a run at the frat party. Yeah. Hope this helps.
This woman has nothing upstairs and anger in her heart. First of all, she knows damn well when she pulls up in a parking lot at Albertsons and gets out her car to go shopping, she just does it and doesn't think about the men around her. What is she saying? She gets out of her car looking all paranoid and stuff, clutching her purse with her head on a swivel. Is she serious? Now, if it's late at night, okay, maybe then she'll get a little nervous. But for her to pretend like in her everyday life, it's like her walking around in a prison yard with a bunch of criminals trying to grape you is ridiculous. Now, should women live life like every man is a potential danger? Yes, the same way you teach children of stranger danger. The exact same way, right? You tell kids, don't talk to strangers because you don't know which stranger is a nice stranger and which stranger is a bad stranger. But you do not tell the kids that all strangers are bad. You don't want to turn your kid into a paranoid freak that starts making TikToks about how their everyday life is like walking around a prison yard full of rapists. And on a side note, less than 1% of men commit violent crimes. And if you want to say, well, some don't get caught, fine. 1% of men commit violent crimes.
Oh, but it's not all men. Okay, let's start using that for everything then. Men are leaders, but not all men. Men are providers and protectors, but not all men. Men are logical and smart, but not all men. Funny how that disclaimer only shows up when a woman talks about rape, abuse, harassment, fear, control, or trauma. When it's a praise, nobody needs clarification. But the second it becomes about accountability, y'all become the president of the Not All Men Association. So which is it? Does generalization matter? Or does it only matter when men feel accused?
These women are a ray of sunshine, aren't they? First of all, when we say men are the leaders or protectors, we're generalizing, and we're generalizing in a way that this is what men are supposed to be. This is what they're meant to be. We're not implying that all men are great leaders. So you don't have to say not all men because we already know that. And even if you did, we would just be like, yeah, I know. Why are you saying that? But with that being said, the majority of men are good leaders. They are doing what they're supposed to be doing. In your feminist, women hating men ways, the way you guys use all men as if we're all abusive, rapists, essayers, worthless, the way you guys are using it, you're implying that all men are these negative things. So if you're having a conversation with me and you're saying all men do X, Y, and Z, what do you expect me to say? Of course, I'm going to say not all men because you now are implying that I'm a rapist or essayer. And that is absolutely crazy. And no man should ever have to sit there and take that crap from a big mouth. Also, when you guys say all men, it's actually less than 1% of men. How did that equate for all men? At least when we say all men are leaders, if we even say that, I don't think we say that. I think we say men are leaders. But even if we were implying all men, at least we're talking about the majority. You guys are implying all men, talking about less than 1%. Okay, 1% if you count the ones that got away with it. And then you guys get pissed off because we say not all men, when 99% of the men don't even fit the categories you are talking about.
It's not all men. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because why was I at the store at 8:30 this morning? There's 4 fucking people total in the store, including myself, 2 other women, and a singular man. And the singular man just takes it upon himself to follow me around for like 15 minutes. Just walking behind me, following me around. Oh, I turned down an aisle. Guess what? Creepy fat guy right there. Oh, I turned down the next aisle. Guess what? creepy fat guy's also gonna be on that aisle. So it's not all men, my fucking ass, bro. Don't piss me off.
It's not all men. Yes, it is. If it's not all men, then explain to me this. Why did a singular man do something if it's not all men?
Didn't I tell you guys in my Dumb Thoughts videos? When they have music in the background of their video, the dumber the thought is. And when the music is classical, oh, it's dumb on steroids. How the hell does she come to the conclusion that it's all men because of what a singular man did? So if there was another man in the store and he was minding his business, then this post never would have been made? Could you imagine if this was true that all men are like how she's saying? That means if she walked into a busy grocery store, all the men would instantly just start following her around. That would be a crazy movie, wouldn't it? They should make a movie called All Men. It can be produced by a feminist, directed by a feminist, written by a feminist, everything by a feminist. The scariest movie of the year. Ladies, watch out. Everywhere you go, all men are staring at you, looking at you, lusting at you, wanting to grape you. All men coming to a theater near you. All of these women, every single woman we just watched right now, had a dumb ass point. None of them can actually defend the all men thing and make it make sense. Yes, be cautious of all men because you can't tell a bad one from a good one. But don't be a paranoid weirdo freak because it's only 1% of the men that do violent crimes. There's no reason to make a big ass narrative because we can't detect who that 1% is. Which brings me to my next point when women say, men don't speak up. They let other men do this. They let their friends do that. Let me tell you this, women, we don't know who is doing this. Do you really think our friends just talk to us and are like, I'm about to beat that bitch's ass. I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it twice today and possibly break a record tomorrow. Now I know I'm making jokes about it and it's probably pissing people off, but I'm making a serious point. Do you really think that men announce that they're violent? Only in rap music does that happen. And trust me, I'm not hanging out with them. Now let me break down the psychology of all this and why these feminist women-hating men like to say all men and why it pisses them off if a man says not all men. First, we got to understand that the thinking of a feminist woman that hates men, it's similar to a racist person. And I'm not saying it's on the same level as far as like history and treatment and anything like that, because as far as that goes, this is just more annoying. But their thought process and the way they see it is like a racist person sees black people. And what I mean is, racist people want black people to suck, right? They want black people to be in gangs. They want us to not be good dads. They want us on welfare. They want us uneducated. They want every negative thing that they say about us to be true. Now, of course, they're coming off as if they would stop behaving this way or doing that, I would love black people. But the truth is, if black people were perfect and everybody knew it and saw it, they wouldn't be able to stand it and will look deep or create a reason to still say black people suck. And not only that, racist people generalize black people, right? All black people are violent. All black people are gangbangers. All black people grow up on welfare. All black people act like they're victims. Now, of course, they've met black people that don't do this, and they probably know in their heart it's not true, but they want it to be true, and that's the message that they're pushing because they're racist. And it's the exact same thing when it comes to these feminist women-hating men. They want men to be bad. They want men to be violent. They want men to suck. They want men to be dumb. And the worst nightmare would be men being perfect. If men were perfect, they would look deep or create a reason to say men are dumb again, or that men suck, or that men are rapists, or whatever it is. And just like the racist people, these women-hating men generalize it. So they want to say all men because they hate men. They want all men to suck. This is the message they want to push. This is the narrative they want to push. So when we say not all men, it pisses them off. It's just like telling a racist, well, not all black people. They don't want to hear that. That's not what's in their hearts. These type of people, racists, or even these men haters, they operate off of hate and anger. And hate and anger is very stupid, and that's why they always sound stupid. But now, let me get to my bonus. This is for the men. Whenever a woman wants to say all men, instead of us saying not all men, let's say
not most men.
Let's see how they like that, because that's the actual fact. Not most men. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have anything to add, then comment below. Tell me what you think. Why do you think these men-hating women say all men? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I made some good points? Or are you a feminist going,
when men say it's not all men, just for a minute, imagine you're in prison.
But no matter what you think, I'm still gonna need you to hit that bell like the hunchback. Also click that hit checker button and subscribe with me. And I'll see you on the next trip.
Day and night. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. All my life. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. Can't help keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. That's why keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.